What's up, guys? Welcome back to TBN Off-Road. We've got the LJ back there, Cory's back with us, and we've got all kinds of stuff down here that we got to put on the Jeep. So if you guys have watched our videos for a while, you know that the last couple times we have gone wheeling, the LJ has been a little angry. What would you say? She's coughed, spit, sputtered?
Banged, tanked.
Yeah, so he's pretty sure, and this is kind of a known thing with the 4.0s, that it's getting vapor lock. So everything we've got over here is to address that and then do a little tune-up. We've got plugs and a coil, but we've also got new injectors. He's got a new fuel rail somewhere around here, and then this one actually came with heat shields to prevent just that heat soaking and hopefully vapor lock. So today we're trying to get out this weekend and go wheel for the first time this year. So we're going to do a little bit of trail prep and hopefully get this thing running like a top so we can get on the trails. Let's get after it. So one of the other things that led us to think it was vapor lock is if you look at the top of that injector, it is cracked. And so is that one. So that is kind of a telltale sign that we need to replace those. So the first thing we're going to do is get this air compressor out of the way. That's going to take a little bit because we're not 100% sure how that mount went on because it's been so long since it went on the Jeep. We'll take the air cleaner off and just kind of see what kind of access we got, but we will do that quick and be right back. Oh, well, we took off the air cleaner. Look at this. There wasn't a whole lot of cleaning it was doing anymore. We'll have to clean that up and replace or clean up that air cleaner. Starting off great. Well, if you look really close, you can see it's torn everywhere. He tried to blow it out, not much came out of it, but I'd say that's old. Time to replace. We're going to start on the coil and the spark plugs, just because it's easy. So we've got to pull out, I think, this bolt, that bolt. Is there any more you can see? There's four? Four. Okay, so there's 4 bolts right there, and then we'll pop that coil off. 13 mil?
Yep, last one.
Now we should be able to just pull that out, right?
Yep.
Probably just gonna rip all these boots off. Oh, there's one.
Once you get one, normally it comes up pretty easy.
Right. There we go. Is that back one off? Okay. Am I stuck on it? Oh, yeah, the electrical connection on the back. So now our tab is here. There, pop the tab.
That didn't take long.
No, that's what I said. You had to just get the right angle of the dangle. There we go. Okay.
I don't know how many miles are on this. I don't know, you got the battery off.
You just don't happen to know? Ballpark?
140 to 160?
It has 173,000 miles, and I don't think these plugs have ever been changed.
Gotcha. Still won't. That alternator's in the way. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Connected. Oh.
What? Pretty sure.
I think I scraped mud on the way out. The gap's decent, but it could be way worse. Okay, the good old ChatGPT said that the spark plug gap was 0.35.
35.
Or 0.35, whatever the hell it is.
035. That's what these are.
Cool.
Brand new.
Gap is great.
Yeah, the old one. 0.06 has freedom.
Well, after 100.
It must be 0.07 because 0.08 just doesn't fit.
I don't know the torque setting on these, do you? You have to ask ChatGPT again.
Why do you have torque wrench?
No, do you?
Moving right through our problems and solutions.
Great. Oh, God.
I've never torqued my Astro van.
Tight. That one used to have a point. It no longer does. Next.
All of these plugs were obviously worn, but they were in surprisingly good shape considering how poorly the Jeep was running. I did go ahead and look up that torque setting for you guys, of course, after we got done, and it is 27 foot-pounds. Do as we say, not as we do.
All right, plugs are done. Time for the coil. Yeah, so this needs to go Down through here. There we go.
There you go.
Clip it on the back. Make that up.
Go back.
There we go. Yikes. What were those?
13.
13 mils. And I'm not even going to ask you for a torque setting on these because I know the answer. I don't know.
Well, my gun has about 3/4 of a charge, and it's rated for.
We fired up the Jeep just to make sure everything still ran and moved on to the fuel system.
So Cory thinks you just press this kind of button and it'll release the pressure.
Or not.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Normally these have Schrader valves on them and you just press the Schrader valve and it releases the fuel pressure. Last time we needed to drop the fuel pressure, we just pulled the fuel pump relay as it was running.
I have to remember where the relay was. It in the box over there or under the hood? I think it's under the hood.
I don't
Or under the glove box.
So he went over to his fuse panel, and if you look here, fuel pump relay is 37. He does not have this because it's Rubicon front and rear lockers. This one's not a Rubicon, those are all aftermarket. So those would be here. So the fuel pump relay is going to be this guy. So he's going to start it, and I'm going to pull this, and the Jeep's going to die. Magic. Okay, so essentially we have to remove all of the electrical connectors to each injector. Then we need to pull the fuel rail off. This is the injector harness, I believe. So all that'll come off. We'll pull the injectors out, rinse and repeat. You've done this before?
On a 4.0.
Your van? Or
Grand
the
Cherokee.
Grand Cherokee. Okay, same thing. Cool. Cory knows what he's doing. I don't this time. When's the last time that happened, Cory?
I wouldn't say I know what I'm doing. I just said I did it
Nope,
before.
you're the expert.
There's a difference.
Stop me when I'm doing something stupid.
Stupid. What are you pulling on that for?
I was gonna take it off. Guess we
Why?
don't really need to, do
No.
we? Stupid. I thought the whole thing had to come off to get to the injector. I guess not.
No, we gotta get the
The red tabs off?
pull this cap off.
This?
Yep, that metal bracket.
Okay.
I don't remember everything.
Well, I pried it off. So this guy right here, a little hard to see, but there's a fuel line coming in, then a female in that pops over it. So you need a special tool to release that female in to get this fuel line off so we can remove the rail.
If I remember correct.
Wait, show him the tool first. It's on. Tool. So that, tell me what that is again?
Oh no, it's for gas lines, fuel lines.
It's just
Quick
a pressure
disconnect,
release thing.
yeah.
Okay.
You snap it together and this goes inside to the locking, kind of like a shark bite. Kind of like a shark bite, it just slips in and then it pinches back the collar and lets the quick connect come off.
Do you have to squeeze it?
No.
You just slide it in.
Yep, once you get it on there. Step
That
one.
looks better.
Step one to anything is make sure you pick the right size. Oh, that felt way better.
Oh, there. I heard it click. Oh, wow. That was so easy.
Specialty tool. Guess what? It's a 10.
Wow. I'm surprised that actually worked.
Me too.
There you go. Okay, so you said pull these off?
Yeah, you might have to undo those clips.
It would appear so.
Cool. Don't drop them in the engine.
Can't drop it in the engine. I'll drop it next to the engine. So that's what that looks like. Just pried it off. What was that about dropping it in the engine?
And would you say you couldn't do it? It did not hit the ground.
Well, we know it fell down through here, and we think it might be sitting on the motor mount, so we're just going to keep taking stuff off and either buy another one or
I think probably that one, but okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got 5 off. And the 6th one is laying down there somewhere.
Might as well gonna pop the injector wires off.
Oh, there's one. Well, it's not the way, but it's an effective way. There. And then it comes right off. Oh, oh. Hey, that one hit the ground. Gentle.
And I'm not squeezing hard enough.
So if you pull those up and they don't come off, it's like not enough to pop the tab. But if you pull them out, they pop right off. That's so silly. Okay, so he's writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on there, so we don't mess these up. All right, we should be able to just pull this off, right?
No.
Maybe not. Oh, there's fuel coming out. Oh, that's a lot of fuel. Here, pull on that, Cory. Let's see if you can get that to release. Oh, real close. Hey, that's a lot of gas. Holy crap. Well, we should have had rags. That'll evaporate. I work by myself and I do such a good job. And then I work with you. And it's just chaos. Hang on, hang on. You're not going to go backwards anymore. Oh, that injector. Oh, injector just came out.
Yeah, it's not uncommon.
I think we got to take that off, or else we're fishing it through, right? There we go. Okay, well, there's an injector. Those are, honestly, they don't look bad inside, but the whole outside is cracked. You can see that.
There you are. 30 minutes later,
Yay!
almost a broken bolt.
Yeah, we don't need to break bolts and intakes. That really pissed me off. Okay. Fuel rail. Goodbye. Now, I should be able to just pull these out by hand.
It looks like they got new O-rings on them, so yeah.
Oh, there's one. The new ones have O-rings on them, right?
Yep.
Good, because these are nasty. There you go. You know, of all the things we're working on, I have confidence in my electrical side. We haven't broken that yet. All right, all the old ones are removed. Clean those up a little bit. The surfaces on
Every
the
one of them's broken.
Yeah, I mean, they're original. They've been on there for a long time, 22 years. So Cory bought all these heat shields, and what brand did you say this was?
Design Engineering Incorporated.
Design Engineering Incorporated. So I'll give you some nice directions with pictures. So essentially, we've got to drop this guy underneath the harness and then reinstall. We managed to get the throttle cable off, so we'll pull this black harness out, drop this guy in, and then put the, well, basically just start reassembling everything. But this kind of sits down in that tray as a heat barrier between the exhaust and the intake and the fuel rail. And then it has this heat shield and then individual heat shields.
Bunch of little wraps
for the injectors themselves. So hopefully that will help prevent our vapor lock problem. Okay. And then that slides underneath it. Well, that looks better.
Yeah, but then the hole doesn't line up.
Really? Keep going. It's got to go back that way a little more. That looks mo better. Then that slides underneath the throttle body. There we go. That's better. Okay, then we slide this guy back on. There we go. All right. Slide this big guy down. Okay, cool. Okay, now we're going to reinstall injectors. See if you can actually see this. But there is a very light, well, there. Cory put a little bit of Vaseline on here to help the injector O-ring seat without rolling. You can use that or dielectric grease. You should be able to just kind of push these in. There we go.
In hindsight, I should have cut all these open at once. Instead, I've got Vaseline on 3 of my 5 digits now. Pretty soon.
Now I'm leaving these caps on for now because there is an O-ring on this backside that the fuel rail is going to seat on, and I don't want to pull that off and lose that O-ring. So now we're going to wrap the heat shield around the fuel rail, and Cory's probably going to need pictures. But they gave us pictures. It just said line up the holes. I don't know how you're supposed to make that work.
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Nothing in the directions shows that kind of center. I don't even know what that is. Relief vent, whatever. That. So he's just going to cut it around it. I mean, it's just a heat shield. It doesn't have to be perfect. So there's no other way to make that work. So we did double check that. Okay, nice little slit. You're just going to wrap around the Velcro and basically just cling it onto the rail.
Why does it have to be 90 degrees when we work on something?
It's 72.
It's 80.
Okay, we'll throw that on. That looks great. All right.
Nothing? I'm surprised.
Is there anything special you have to do to reseat this?
Push.
The line? Just push. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
It's on.
Oh, push on your side.
We can put the clips on.
Clips. Oh yeah. We're going to install the fuel rail clips. If I remember, they were like this, weren't they? There's little rings on the injectors, so I'm assuming it holds on like that.
So the lips of this thing just caught the fuel rail.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go.
No, just roll the fuel rail forward and down.
I can't.
Like that?
Oh, there. Okay. Okay, so we left this loose. We did not bolt it in, so we have flexibility here. And I've basically just spun the injector, slid this in the groove on the injector, and then kind of flexed the fuel rail to get it all to seat. All right, bolt it down. So we got all the clips in, we got all the wires connected, we've got the bolts to put in and the heat shrink to, or the heat wrap to go around it.
I don't think the camera gets a very good view. All it shows is your back of your head.
It's my best side. Hope this starts. Probably should have checked for leaks before we did this.
At least it'll be wrapped up, so it'll take a long time to find.
Exactly. If you guys got big hands, this is probably not the job for you. I'm just putting that out there. All right, we got everything put back together. We obviously need an air cleaner. We'll pick that up later, but fire it up. Purrs like a kitten. Heck yes, that thing has ran poorly for a while. Hey look, Mason showed up for the end.
I had to come home from work.
Yeah, that's it. We've got it done. Hopefully the Jeep runs well. We'll see. If you guys want to support the channel, don't forget to head over to tbnoffroad.com, click on the shop button, pick up some of your favorite merch. If you want some more behind the scenes content, at TBNoffroad, Facebook and Instagram. We will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.